Hello, beautiful people. I am live. Hey, how are we doing today? So, this is another live. I got a bit of pushback on my live yesterday, and I was thinking about that a lot. And I knew that that coming out with a different perspective would get some pushback. Would get people moving away from my because I've diverted a little bit from my traditional content, which is all about wealth creation. But this is the Great Awakening. I am a light worker and a light warrior. And my message, I want to empower you and inspire you with my message. And what I'm seeing right now around, particularly in the United States and around the world, the response to the election result this week is it's sad. I feel so sad for the mental health crisis that is escalating due to the result that, I'm sorry, but the media is complicit. The mainstream media is complicit in creating this huge mental health breakdown that so many people are having, and the trauma and the terror that people are experiencing when it is actually unjustified. Now, you can scream at me all you like, depending on your perspective. I had people or somebody yesterday go, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. That is exactly what the establishment want. The establishment want division. If somebody doesn't agree with me, or that we are on the different ends of the spectrum or different sides of the political spectrum, then all of a sudden we're enemies. We're supposed to be enemies over politics. This is a deliberate creation, and I want to speak to you today about the divine plan, trusting the divine plan. No matter what you think about what just went down, no matter what your belief is about what just happened, that the vast majority of Americans who voted in favor of Donald Trump. And there's so many people going, I can't believe it. The racism, the misogyny, it's this, it's that. And the whole, movement, liberal women movement, where they're now going to be celibate, and they're shaving their heads and getting tattoos. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. This is off the charts. It is hysterical. It is deranged. Women, you are hurting yourselves. See, the thing is that the whole celibacy thing, it's only a win if all women do it. And I can guarantee you there's only a small percentage of you. So men aren't going to miss out unless you have boyfriends or husbands who you are punishing. Then, it's not exactly a win. Sorry, but seriously, men aren't going to miss out. They will find it somewhere, And to be really crass and obtuse, prostitutes still need to make a living. So I don't think you've got many liberal prostitutes out there who are going to be just being celibate in protest. So you may not understand what just happened, depending on where you're at. You may be, and as I said, it's sad. It's sad to see the number of people who are literally losing their minds. And from what I understand, from my deep dive into American politics, looking at all different aspects of American politics, and if you are listening to one particular source and you are not engaging in critical, independent thinking, if you are outsourcing your thinking to one source or one. And you know what? Any mainstream media channel is one source. Have you seen any of those montages around COVID or around any other specific event where every single presenter is saying exactly the same thing across dozens and dozens and dozens of mainstream media channels? It's kind of a bit scary. If you haven't seen those montages where they're all saying exactly the same thing, no matter what mainstream media channel it is, that's like, okay, what's going on here? All the outlets, exactly the same stories, exactly the same narrative. It's all coordinated. It's all orchestrated. And remember that this is a holographic projection. You are living in a simulation. Now, the narrative, the mainstream narrative, wants us divided because united we stand, divided we fall. Have you not heard that? Now, if you're going to hate on me because of my perspective and cancel me, that's just participating in the whole cancel culture. It's completely unhealthy. I'm not going to hate on you for your perspective if it's different to mine. I'm not going to cancel you because your perspective is different to mine. So why would you cancel me for doing the same thing? Now, I know that there's people on both sides who are doing, oh, you don't agree with me, so don't fall into that trap. It's a trap. We need to come together. We need to love each other. How about trying to understand the other person's perspective? Sitting down with an open mind, a genuine open mind, and saying to them, please explain to me what you see. Please explain to me what you see. And both sides have to participate the same. It's a bit like a counseling session where you have a mediator. You don't need to pay a counselor. Just be a little open-minded. Just be a little compassionate. Just be a little understanding. But if you are locked on to one perspective and you refuse to see anybody else's point of view, what kind of future do you think is that for humanity? I see particularly a lot of the younger generation, it's not just the younger generation, but a lot of the younger generation who are basically throwing a tantrum. I didn't get my way, so everybody has to be punished. Wait a minute. This is a majority thing, and the majority decided decisively that what they wanted. So just because you didn't get what you wanted, you don't get to stand there and throw a tantrum and scream and cry and then demand that somebody give you what you wanted. Sorry, but that's kind of narcissistic behavior. Really is. It's self-serving behavior. That is, no, I demand to get what I want regardless. And there is a divine plan at play. This is the Great Awakening. This is the shift in consciousness. And everything happens for a reason. I will come back to the same message in relation to what is happening right now. Everything happens for a reason. I could go through all the different reasons that I see this as a positive thing for humanity. And there are people who will listen to that who will not be able to hear it because they're so locked on to their perception, to their perspective, to their one narrative. They're not even able to hear anybody else's opinion. Their voice is screaming at them, catastrophe, this is wrong. And it breaks my heart to see this being done to humanity. It breaks my heart that this is where so many people are at in their consciousness. And I see this as the shakeup that we have to have. This is a catalyst for change. This is a disruption. All of what is unfolding right now is a catalyst for change. Now, for those of you who don't know Nicole Shanahan, go and look her up. For those of you who haven't listened to Tulsi Gabbard, go and look her up. For those of you who haven't heard Elon Musk speak about what he intends to do in relation to the government and the government overreach, go and listen to him speak with an open mind. And just always come back to the divine plan. There is a divine plan. Trust the divine plan. You know, you can see this much of the tip of the iceberg. What is going on underneath the surface, below your conscious awareness, is incredible. Just because you don't see the what is evolving, what is being created, you see just a small piece of this puzzle. And I have said for ages that in order for humanity to evolve into the fifth dimension, into the next stage of consciousness, that the systems that have entrapped and enslaved us must be dismantled or restructured. I used to say dismantled or collapsed, but they can be restructured. And that is the opportunity that is available right now. So while the liberal women are losing their minds and all these people are losing their minds, I want you to start asking yourself, is it true? Whatever it is that you're locked onto, if it is like, this is a catastrophe, I want you to examine and question your perspective and your point of view. And there's a great process called The Work by Byron Katie. It is incredible. It is profound when you do it properly. And the questions are, whatever it is that is causing you distress, anxiety, because everything is a perspective, a perception, and everything is a story. Everything is a story. And there are always not just two, but multiple stories that are going on within this pressure cooker that we're living in, within this holographic projection, this simulation. It's all a simulation. It's all energy of your creation. So if you're railing against your creation, your co-creation, how's that working for you? If you're being in this state of distress and anxiety, and that is your perception, your story, your narrative, your thoughts creating your suffering, how is that working for you? The great Byron Katie, your thoughts create your suffering. It's all about your beliefs. One person has one set of beliefs that goes, wow, this is amazing. One person has another set of beliefs that goes, oh, this is crap. My world is over. This is a disaster. Everybody's going to suffer. One lot of people are not suffering. One lot of people are rejoicing, and it's the majority, by the way. And another lot of people are going, that set of people over there are stupid. You're stupid. You're an idiot. You're uneducated. There's an Australian influencer who is criticizing the Americans who just voted for their leader, saying that they're basically uneducated and stupid. Honey, like, that is so disrespectful and quite frankly ludicrous, because there are a lot of educated people out there who've just cast their vote and their preference for the person who just got elected. So what do they see that you don't? So your thoughts create your suffering. And the Byron Katie, the work process is, You can use EFT as well, but the work process is you write down your thoughts, your opinions, your perspective, whatever it is that's causing you stress. You write out the story. And then you go, is it true? You question the story and you really question it. Is it true? Do I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that this is true? Like, where's your proof that backs all this up? And I'm not talking about somebody else's perspective and what they told you, as in mainstream media or your neighbor or your pastor or somebody else who you have put in a position of authority. Where is your proof of the truth of that belief that is causing you the distress? So is it true? Do I absolutely know that it's true? Now, there's no right or wrong answer. If you come up with yes and yes, okay. How do I feel when I think this thought? How do I feel when I think this thought? Who would I be without the thought? Now, you're not actually putting yourself in a position where you have to let go of the thought. You're just entertaining the possibility of who you would be without the thought. So you are putting yourself in another mindset. You are shifting your state of being. Everything is a state of being. You can be in a state of joy or a state of sadness, a state of anger, a state of acceptance, a state of wealth and abundance, or a state of lack and poverty. Everything is a state of frustration, a state of bliss. They're all states. So who would you be without that thought that is causing you stress, anxiety, and suffering? And then you do the turnaround. Okay? So the turnaround is actually looking at the opposite. What if the opposite were true, and finding and actively looking for evidence that the opposite is true. Now, if you are dedicated to the process, then you will be willing to be wrong. You have to be willing to be wrong in order for this process to work. Okay? I'm not saying that you are wrong. Maybe you're totally right. Maybe your perception and your perspective is completely what is true. But you know what? Truth is so subjective. Your truth is not my truth. My truth is not your truth. So if your truth is creating pain and suffering for you, then is it worth you hanging on to your truth, or is it worth looking for perhaps new information, new understanding, new perceptions, and new perspectives? Is it worth taking a breath, standing back and going, wait a minute, what if there is a divine plan? What if there is something that I'm not seeing that is equally true, or maybe even more true than my particular perception and understanding? I invite you and encourage you to explore these processes, because there have been many over the last few years. It's been actually quite amazing to witness and to watch. I didn't have a horse in this race. I have my opinions, my perspectives, based on the voices that I listened to, the research that I did, and I researched. I am very diligent at listening to something. I don't take anything for granted. I question everything. I question myself all the time. I question my perspectives and where they came from and how they were formed and whether or not they're actually true and relevant all the time. This enables me to step back and allow myself to see a much bigger picture and a much broader perspective, which my mental health is much better because of it. The narrower your focus and your perspective, the more struggles you will ultimately have with your mental health, because it'll work for you for a while. But if you lock onto something, at some point, that's not going to work for you. But if you are open to new ideas, new opinions, new knowledge, new information, new possibilities, then the world is your oyster in so many ways. And your mental health will thank you. Your emotional well-being will thank you. My heart is breaking to see so many people mentally and emotionally broken right now. Now, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to be doing an EFT tapping video to try and help people. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that can't be reached. They are so distraught. They're so terrified. They're terrified by their own perspective, by their own thoughts. They're terrified by their own opinions, by their own projection. You know, everything is a projection. Everything is a projection. If you are terrified right now, you are projecting a potential future. That's what's terrifying you. Right here in the now, right here in this moment, are you safe? Right here in this moment, is your world falling apart because of your current situation and your current circumstances? Now, be very vigilant about what you are projecting as your potential future. Be very vigilant about what you are creating and co-creating. Because remember, you are co-creating your future experience all the time. You are that powerful. In this simulation, in this holographic projection, you are constantly co-creating your future experience. Be careful what you create. So if you are projecting this terrifying future, you are literally creating that future for yourself. There are a whole group of other people, millions of people, who are simultaneously co-creating another future for themselves. And this is so important, because in this time of great awakening, this is like unprecedented in the history of humanity. This, what we are living through right now, is unprecedented in the history of humanity. Why? Because according to many of the other conscious beings out there, the spiritually awake, connected leaders out there who I listen to, I'm not one of them, I listen to these people and I really resonate with them and I trust them. They come from a very genuine place. They have been saying that we are seeing a split in timelines. This is why there is so much division, so much conflict between people, because there is literally a split in timelines, which is kind of sad. But there are those of us who are on this fifth dimensional timeline. We are embracing a new future. We are embracing a radical shift in consciousness. And what we are projecting into, I should do it that way, shouldn't I? Your left is my right, my left is your right. What we are projecting into our future is bliss, is acceptance, is love, is community, is health, is freedom, is abundance. There are those of us who are focused on that, and that is what we are projecting. There are those, unfortunately, who are projecting a terrifying world, a terrifying future. Now, that is not reliant upon any leader. Your future is reliant on what you choose to focus on and what you choose to project. Which will you choose? Now, there's a guy called Daryl Anka, I think it's A-N-K-A, who channels Bashar, B-A-S-H-A-R. I recommend highly. I've mentioned him multiple times. because his channelings are so clear and resonate so deeply. Every time I listen to Bashar, I get goosebumps all over. And that is clear evidence to me that that is truth. Anything that causes you terror is not truth. Anything that causes you fear is not truth. That is actually the opposite of truth. Anything that causes you to feel love and safety, that's truth, because that's who you are. You are love. You are power. You are an infinitely powerful being who's co-creating your future reality. Own that. Live from that place. So you will get what you focus on. If you focus on this terrifying future for yourself, that you believe you are at the mercy of one man or one group of people, nobody can help you except you. If you choose as a powerful co-creative force who knows you are living in a holographic projection and a simulated reality, that everything is energy, everything is connected, and you are creating your present and your future moment by moment. You are experiencing this moment right here, right now, in whatever way that you are experiencing it, because of the focus and the energy and the attention and the beliefs that you had yesterday. Now, that means that your tomorrow is dependent on your focus and your energy and your projection and your thoughts and your beliefs that you embrace and embody today. Do you understand how powerful this is? Once you know that if what you are experiencing right now, if that is creating you fear and terror, then that is what you will experience tomorrow. Make no mistake. You cannot project and be immersed in a state of fear and terror and experience joy tomorrow. That is not the way this works. So if you want to experience something different, and if you want to experience something radically different, then it's time to change your internal perception, your perspective, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your projections, and stop allowing yourself to be at the mercy of whatever conditioning, whatever internal negative belief systems you have created. Remember, everything comes back to your state of being. I hope this has resonated with you. No matter whether I believe something different to you, I hope that the message has gotten through to you. And if you want to cancel me because I believe something different to you, then I bless you and I love you. And I hope that at some point you will embrace an empowering perspective that puts you in the driver's seat of your future, that helps you to understand the co-creative force that you are the most powerful creative force in your world, that you have the ability to create a new future for yourself, whatever that might be, not at the mercy of anybody else. But if you want to put your future in somebody else's hands, in the hands or in a situation, and go, well, this situation means that I have just lost all my power, then I pray for you. Honestly. Now, in taking back your power, I am not suggesting that some of what is being touted on the internet, you cannot resist something and expect a good result. What you resist persists. When you fight against something, you pour your energy into it. So if you're afraid of something and you decide to push against that, you've just given it all your energy. So if you want a different future for yourself and a different situation for yourself, then focus on that and focus on pouring positive energy into that. Do you know how you create wealth and abundance? You pour positive, deliberate, creative energy into that. Our world rewards productivity, positive productivity. If you want wealth and abundance and you want a wealthy and abundant future, then you pour positive, positive creative energy into creating that future. If you pour energy into, oh, I'm always broke and, there's not enough money in the world and there's never enough money for me and nothing works out for me, then that is what you will continue to create. If you stay in a lack and poverty mindset, what do you think's going to happen? This is why EFT is so powerful. This is why I give you so much content and tapping videos with that help you to rewire and create new neural pathways. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. New neural pathways and new neurology, because this, your subconscious programming, this is what is creating your future. So I hope that this has been powerful. I hope it has given you a new perspective and it has been empowering, because what I always try to do is give you inspiration and empowerment. And if you disagree with my point of view, then that's fine, but don't dismiss the ultimate message that you are infinitely powerful and you have the power to create your future reality, whatever that might be. So whatever future world you wish to create for yourself, put positive creative energy into that. Walk away from negative energy that is causing you fear and terror and anxiety. What you resist persists. What you focus on, you get what you focus on, regardless. If it's good or bad, what you get what you focus on. So be vigilant, be diligent. Go out and have clarity around what it is that you want to create for your future. Stop giving your energy away to things that you have no control over. You have no control over what is happening out there. You have ultimate control about what is happening in here, in here, in here. This is your point of power. And stop railing against what it is that you believe is wrong in the world. How do you know? How do you know that that's wrong in the world? How do you know that the world is falling apart? How do you know? Do you know everything? No, you don't. Neither do I. I don't know whether or not this really is the what has just happened is what needs to happen ultimately. But what I trust is the divine plan. Maybe this is the catalyst for the collapse of the systems that needs to happen for humanity to then go and create a beautiful life. But no violence, no rage, no fighting against the system. That's futile. It will get you nowhere, except a whole lot of stress and anxiety and mental health issues. I love you. I really do. I don't care what you believe. I love you. I love you. God loves you. The universe loves you. The divine loves you. Whatever ultimate source you believe in, you are so loved beyond anything you could possibly imagine. Know that. Embrace that. Create from that. Anyway, I'm going to go. If you found this powerful, I'm glad. There's only a handful of people who listen to these. And I hope that it has maybe helped you in whatever situation you're in right now. whatever your perspective, your story is around this, I hope maybe you are feeling a little better just by being here today. There is a divine plan. Trust it. Love you loads.